Chat GPT, I mean, how did we exist before it is my question, because I feel like so many people are scared of it, but it's helped me get things done so much faster.
We're Sahara and Michaela, co-founders of Refine Marketing.
From corporate 9-to-5s to building and scaling multiple million-dollar companies in less than 5 years, we're not afraid to get into the nitty-gritty.
Giving you a raw and real look at what it takes to build and sustain a business.
This is Rise and
Refine.
Good morning and welcome back to the Rise and Refine podcast. I don't know about you, Sahara, but the groundhog saw a shadow and it is freezing in Atlanta, Georgia. Like there were literally snow flurries this morning and I'm over it. I want a spicy marg on a beach somewhere so bad right now.
I'm the same. I literally was like looking up weather in other places yesterday. I'm like, where can I book a flight just for a couple days where it's 90 degrees just to feel the sun? Like even if I step off of an airplane and feel the sun and get right back on, it may make me feel better.
I know, right? Like walking on a beach just with some sort of like warm breeze, salty air. I am in desperate need of that right now.
I know. I feel you. I need it's so cold.
Yeah.
Like just so cold. And usually I'm excited for the snow because I'm like snowed in, movies and hot soup and extra time with Maeve and like cuddling on the couch. But I'm over it at this point. Like normally we get like where I'm at, we get one snow day a year, if that. And it's just like a few inches. And then this year it's been like we already had a whole week and now it's never snowed this much.
It's been so cold here too. And I don't know. I'm just definitely ready for some warm weather, and hopefully this week starts to warm up a little bit more than last week did, because I feel like it started out pretty decent and then it just took a plunge for 17 degrees, 16 degree mornings, and had to turn back on the heaters. So that was super fun.
I know. And I was just telling you too, it's like made my eyes so dry and they're always like just red and dry right now. And I'm just like, I'm not like, I you know how they say like I think they say on TikTok, they're like the winter uglies and like just feeling down overall. I'm in that right now. Like, let's get through this.
I'm in the point right now where I just refuse to buy makeup for like my pale winter self. And so we're at a point where, you know, my foundation is a little bit too dark. My contour is definitely too dark for my pale winter skin. And I'm just over it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to pretend to be tan and roll with it and own it. But anyways, outside of our winter scaries, we are talking about systems that we absolutely love for our business. Refined and the podcast, but Sahara has a unique experience, obviously, because she has her real estate team and a property management company. And so she obviously works with a lot of systems. We have quite a few systems for Refine and the podcast. So we're just going to kind of dive into those, what they are, what we use them for, whether we like them or not. And we might even there's some free ones on there, but just kind of talking through that, because we get this question asked a lot on stories or people just DMing us.
Like what we use for our day to day.
Yeah.
There's obviously, I feel like this isn't even necessarily a system that you have to choose. I feel like you should just have it. Like, how do you run a business without it? And that is the Google Suite. It's just like a have to for any business. Hear me out on this because I'm going to diss some people. I can't stand it. It's like a pet peeve when a small business has an @gmail.com email, because I immediately know they don't have like a business suite, and it like kills me. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like if you don't get the business suite with Google, then you don't own your domain, then it's @Gmail, which to me like makes it seem like your business isn't as like legitimate. What's the word? Almost like not verified, like not legit, like not professional. And it's the pet peeve that I still see small businesses use their @Gmail and they don't have a business suite.
Yeah. I mean, we recommend to all of our clients to get a Google Business Suite because like it just adds to the legitimateness of your business. having our primary contact email is hello@refinemarketing.com. My personal email is Michaela@refinemarketing.com. And so it just immediately shows you mean business, you know what you're doing, and it adds a level of professionalism just from a prospective client opening up your email. At least that's what I've always seen. That's how I feel. So if you do not have a Google Business Suite, definitely look into one. But we use the Google Suite for pretty much everything. We have Google Drive. That's where we host all of our client projects. We create collaborative folders within there that only our client has access to for their specific project. We use Google Docs for collaborative, like quarterly meetings and things like that. Even collabing on like website copy for our website clients. Obviously, we have a Gmail. That's where our entire business email suite is located, is within Gmail. We use the Google Calendar feature. That's where our main calendar is. My personal calendar, Sahara's other business calendars are all linked through there. So I can see everything that she's got going on. She can see all that we have going on with Refine and the podcast. So yeah, I think it's just like, it's so user friendly. It's so intuitive, and it's just an easy way to keep everything all in one place as a business owner.
Yeah, it's like $14 a month for just one user too. That's nothing. Like everything that it comes with comes with all that for $14 a month. And the thing about it too is people have tried to like create systems that can almost beat it or work better. And it's such just a good like original business tool that I feel like will always be used. The Google Docs is amazing. I mean, the calendar is amazing. The way that you can organize your folder, like it's just really helps set up your business for success in terms of organization. Like even we have our like process manual in our G Suite under Googles and folders. We have all that organized, and the way you can share things and collab on things and keep everything all in one place makes a really, really big difference. And it's just like the best go-to. Like I think any business could just start with that as their main system. And then of course you may need things like as you go, but you could use like so much in Google Suites. You can do forms, I use Sheets for so much. It's just overall a great tool to use.
Yeah, exactly. And it's relatively cheap compared to other systems out there too on a monthly basis. So if you're really trying to start a business and you want to keep costs low, great way to keep costs low. Instead of having like a Typeform lead form, you can use a Google Forms as your lead form. There's just so many different options that you can use within the Google Suite. But Sahara, what's our next one?
Okay, so the next one that I feel like is a must need for all businesses, but there's like different forms of it, is to have a CRM. A CRM is a contact relationship management software. So it's a place where you can keep up with, in a sense, and we all call them different things, clients, leads, whatever you want to call it, but it's a way you can keep up with all the people you need to follow up with, where you can store their information, their phone number, their email. It's a way that you can gain more business if you use it properly. And so Follow Up Boss is great for all the realtors that follow us. And then we use for our CRM, say it, Michaela, because I cannot ever pronounce it. Is it Dubsado or Dubsado?
I say Dubsado, but I don't know if that's correct or not.
Okay, if we're saying it wrong, we love you. Correct us, please, because we want to get it right. But that's what we use for our CRM, because I feel like people in business, especially when they first get started, they're like, I don't need to invest in CRM because I can keep up with like 100 people.
You
no,
need
you can't.
one. You need
like
one.
I can barely keep up with 5.
Yeah. You definitely need one. I mean, we originally started with HoneyBook, and there was a whole thing between HoneyBook raising prices, switched to Dubsado, all that kind of stuff. We switched to Dubsado or started the process way prior to that. So this has no affiliation to that whatsoever. However, HoneyBook didn't have the level of automations that we had grown to need with Refined. And so that's the main reason why we switched to Dubsado.
And I want to say on HoneyBook too, just so we say this and don't forget, HoneyBook is amazing for like invoicing and contracting. And on the client portal side, it's also very awesome. So it's a great system, especially for beginners. It's just like when you get into more of needing a CRM, Honeybook didn't have the best like lead flow in terms of a CRM, like to keep up with your people. And then obviously it doesn't have like automations and day-to-day task stuff that we needed, but it is a really great beginner tool.
It's such a great beginner tool. And we're talking about Honeybook in this instance. But if you are needing those advanced automations, workflows built out for you, Dubsado is definitely the way to go. We have loved the switch. It has made such a huge impact. We worked with Chanel and Lee in building out our workflows and creating a customized automated experience for our clients, but also for us on the back end to kind of take away some of the day-to-day tasks that we were filling our calendars when we were needing that time back. So awesome CRM. I know that you said Follow Up Boss for real estate agents. And then
there's HubSpot, which is another like CRM for small businesses. That one's a little bit more on the pricey side, but I've heard it's a great CRM as well.
When I worked in private equity, we used HubSpot and it was great. We absolutely loved it. I know a lot of people in the financial sector, at least what I saw, working in Atlanta, they were using HubSpot. That was kind of the thing to use. So that's another great option as well.
And all these systems, you can connect to your business suite, your Gmail.
Yes.
So that one of the best automations you can have is when a lead or a client fills out a form and it automatically takes that client's information and plugs it into the system for you. That's just like, business 101, you need that automation to happen so you don't miss people. And all these systems that we mentioned definitely do that. They all flow, take those lead contact forms from your email, flow it into your CRM, and then you can set automations from there. You can get email sent back, tasks sent back. Some of them even do text sent back ASAP. That way you can kind of like not have to do those things ASAP because you're busy meeting with clients, working on projects. It's standard automations that everybody needs.
And you're building your email list at the same time. Like you're capturing those leads. They might be cold leads right now, or maybe they're warm leads because they wanted a freebie that you offered. But in that moment, you're able to build up your database. And at the end of the day, that's invaluable as a business owner because you actually own that. That is something that you can take with you, whether social media goes dark or TikTok goes away again. Your database is something that you actually own and have full control over. And it's the most invaluable asset that you can have. The next one that I want to bring up, it's actually something that's a little bit newer to us, but we've found it to be a really great messaging tool is Slack. So we were getting caught up. I know I don't have a work phone. I just have my personal phone. And I was getting so caught up in client text or client group messages that my personal texts or things that I needed immediate attention were getting pushed down to the bottom because I try not to check those throughout the day. I try to be very cognizant of that. And treat my business like a real business, like a real job. And so Slack, we decided to go ahead and invest in a subscription with that. We've switched all of our client communications over to different Slack channels, and that has been a total game changer for keeping all of our client communications in one place, but then also separating it because it's an app that you can have on your phone. In addition to the messages app, it's helped me not have to have a work phone and just keep everything in there from a business.
It's like group texting
standpoint.
Basically in an app.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. It's so you can group text. And I used it for my other company for a long time, and it's such a great tool. Did you know, Michaela, I don't know if you know this, but I found this out, that you can actually set up automations with Slack. So for example, with certain systems. So like, for example, in Notion, if I change like a project to in review, I could get it to send a Slack message to like my marketing girls.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
That way they get notified that a project's in review if you prefer that over email.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah. So Slack has a lot of like automations and stuff you can do.
And as you can see, like we're still learning new systems as we go, as we grow with Refine specifically. But Slack is definitely something that on the messaging front we have implemented and have loved using. The next that I know that you use this in your other businesses as well. It's pretty common to use as a business owner, but Canva Pro, having a Canva Pro account, a Teams account, that is kind of almost a standard, I almost feel like now, as a business owner. And even though we are a brand and web design studio, and I predominantly use Illustrator for a lot of my designs, I love using Canva Pro or just Canva for our social media graphics for something quick, because I have everything uploaded into our brand kit. It's all right there. It's super plug and play and very user friendly to get out quick designs without having to dig through Illustrator files and have everything in Illustrator itself. So love Canva Pro. Anything to add on that?
Canva to me is like the cool girl that I want to be. Like, it's just so cool. From where the company started to where it is now and what they're doing, like, if you just study it and learn how to use it, there's so much that used to require like Photoshop training for years on that you could easily do with the click of a button now. And it's just like Michaela said, a game changer for small businesses and even big businesses now. But I think people relate Canva to marketing and graphics. We use Canva for all of our guides for clients. We're creating click-throughs for Canva as to where they can go through a clickable PDF guide. You can do video editing in Canva, presentation editing in Canva, share projects in Canva. You can create brand kits in Canva. Like, there's just so much more than just marketing that you can create, that I think that it gets missed, and we think Canva's just for like graphic designing, and there's so much more you can do to it now.
Yeah, it's definitely an underutilized resource for a lot of business owners. There's a lot you can do without having to go into the Adobe Creative Suite, which is amazing because it's a little bit more cost effective than the Adobe Creative Suite. And so having access to a tool like that is invaluable. And there's definitely more to come on that, because we will be launching something here very soon coming in March that's going to it's going to help business owners, personal brands, entrepreneurs really build a strong foundation for their brand, all within Canva. So something coming very, very soon, but super excited to share it with you guys because we know it's going to be revolutionary for so many of you. The next that I absolutely love, and obviously I just kind of touched on this, is the Adobe Creative Suite. I mean, I'm a brand designer, and so naturally I don't just use Canva Pro to create some of the logos that you see, some of the visual identities that you see on our Instagram. Those are very custom, they're very customized, and they are all built in the Adobe Creative Suite, primarily Adobe Illustrator. And so with that being said, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe InDesign, those are my two primaries. We do Photoshop occasionally if we need to edit some sort of imagery that a client has sent over for us to use within her visual identity. But those are the two primaries that I use and love. If you are new to brand design or wanting to get into it, I highly recommend dipping your toe into the Adobe Creative Suite, just picking one and really learning it and just playing around in it, because it's going to level up your designs, your game in a way that Canva Pro just can't do.
But maybe one day, who knows? I mean, they have recently added some crazy cool design stuff. So I'm interested to see what Canva's going to look like 5 years from now.
Yeah, definitely. Just for right now, if you're a brand designer, I would highly recommend diving into Adobe Illustrator and getting to know that program.
Yeah. Yes, 1,000%. Okay. And then the next one, I mean, this is, I feel like another obvious since COVID, but that's Zoom. Zoom, me and Michaela, I feel like use it every single day now. Like, Zoom is basically, in my opinion, the new FaceTime. You can record your meetings. Zoom has a really cool tool for business owners now too that I think doesn't get talked about a lot, which is the AI recording notes, to where it's taking notes for you during a meeting and then it sends you that summary and all those notes written out, which is amazing because I remember the days of like my handwriting from having to keep up with all the notes. It was almost like you couldn't focus on the meeting or the conversation because you were too busy making notes in your to-do list.
Yeah, very true.
So the note taker tool within Zoom to record meetings, take notes for you, has been really, really helpful for me as a business owner. But I mean, Zoom's amazing. I don't know what else to say. You can do webinars, you can host meetings, you can see faces. Like, I'm obsessed with Zoom.
I mean, we're using Zoom right now too, because obviously we're in our own podcast studios. If you're watching on YouTube, you see that. But if you're just listening on Apple or Spotify, you obviously can't see that. So we're in our own podcast studios today. And obviously with Sahara being in Huntsville, me being in Atlanta, we have to be able to have an episode or record an episode in 2 different places. And so we use Zoom to be able to do that. She's on my computer. I can see her, I can hear her, but obviously I'm talking into my mic and looking at my individual camera to record the episode. But honestly, Sarah, I really wish that I would have bought stock in Zoom back before COVID, because would have been a millionaire.
Same. I want to know too, if I'm missing something with Google Meets, because we started this conversation with like Google Business Suite. We love, it's like the go-to tool, right? However, I always pay extra for Zoom because I don't like Google Meets. And I don't know if it's just because my mind's so used to Zoom, but Google Meets, like with the sharing the screen and the way it operates, isn't as user-friendly to me. But I know some people use Google Meets. So if you do and you prefer over Zoom, like please comment what I'm missing, because it's just like I can't make myself like it.
I have just always used Zoom. In college, I always used Zoom. And so I guess Google Meets just never came to my...
Oh, did you use Zoom in college?
We use Zoom.
What year did you go to college?
2019. I mean, I graduated in 2019, but we were using Zoom.
Dang, that's so crazy.
It was really very new
didn't
then.
Use Zoom. Yeah, I was about to say I really didn't use Zoom till COVID. Definitely never used it in school or anything, but Zoom to me became like 2020 is when I had heard of it, but to use it like as a like normal, I didn't use it till 2020.
Interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, well, one system that, or I guess program that I absolutely love, would not have a sector of Refined if it wasn't for this program, but it's Show It. It is a website builder where you can build customized websites from scratch with a very user-friendly platform. And so when you are building out a website for a client and they have to go back in and obviously make edits later on as their business expands, maybe add pages, it's very intuitive on how to be able to do all of that in the back end. And it's not confusing to where you have to reach out to a website developer or coder to be able to get things done. So if you are looking to get into web design, start with Show It. It is a great, customizable, very user-friendly option. And we would literally not have half of Refined if it was not for Show It. So thank you, Show It.
So the one thing I will add to Show It is you've really taught me that it really does make a huge difference in terms of aesthetics of a website. I just feel like Show It's kind of like one of the ones where you can get the look you want, and I can't find that with other websites. So I love that. Chat GPT, I mean, you have to learn how to use it. Because I think some people think it's as simple as say one thing and you get your result back. I have recently really dug into like training it more. The more you train it, just like the more you would train like a human, the more you train it to speak the way you want, act the way you want, the better the results you're going to get. And ChatGPT is just a game changer. I mean, like, I want to say like, don't rely on it too much, but I mean, it can really teach you how to write better emails. It can come up with captions. It can help you as you're building master classes. I mean, you have to still do the work, and it kind of just adds to it and makes the work better. So ChatGPT is like this. ChatGPT is the assistant. I always want it.
That's a bold statement. Yeah, I love ChatGPT in its own ways. I don't use it to create content per se, but if I have like a content idea that I'm trying to organize my thoughts around, I'll plug everything into ChatGPT and say, help me come up with a filming framework for this reel. And then it will help me actually prioritize what videos to put when, making it very SEO friendly. But again, it goes back to training your ChatGPT to sound like you, sound like your brand. Make sure that your brand messaging is kind of infused into its memory, because that's going to radically change what it spits back out at you. So take the time to train it, and the results are actually very, very helpful. But a lot of times, like I said, I personally use it to organize my thoughts most of the time, get a schedule in place, help with creating new content ideas, and then maybe helping with some of the framework around that content. But that's kind of the extent right now to where I use it.
Yeah, there's like millions of ways you could use it. I'm trying to think like one way that we've most recently used it in the business is help us think of, not for Refine, but for my other businesses, help us think of like SEO targeted blog topics.
Oh, interesting.
And yeah, that really helped us. So that's how we come up with like a lot of our blogs. We'll like plug in where we live, like things that are new to our area, what kind of business we're in, what we want to talk about, and then use SEO targeted topics. And so that's how we've been like coming up with a lot of our blogs. It's helped us get work done faster because instead of having to sit there for 3 hours, like I remember when I first got into business, sitting there thinking of topics or certain things, we can just give it like 5 minutes of some info we have, and it can shoot out like 100 topics.
Right.
So love it for that. Once you learn how to use it, you kind of learn what you like to use it for, and everybody uses it in different ways. I just really want to talk about too, though, with this specific system, don't rely on it, and make sure you read what it says and make sure it's still you. Because there's sometimes I will get emails or texts from people and I can tell that was straight up from ChatGPT because they didn't customize it enough or read what it said. You don't want it to do that. It's not perfect. It can't ultimately be you. It can just help assist you.
Yeah. Don't rely on it. Like Sahara said, it is a tool that can be used to help with time management and productivity. It should not be doing all the work for you. It should not be writing every single one of your Instagram captions. It should not be framing out and writing every single one of your email newsletters that you're sending out. So use it sparingly, use it when you need to, but don't rely on it.
It's so crazy to me how fast within really the past year, so many tools have changed and adjusted with AI. It was like a light switch, like got flipped on. Like I was in Gmail like this week, like responding to emails and noticed they now have like help me respond back tool. And then, Canva's got AI now and specific things like when you go to fix spelling, you can say help like generate a better wording for this. How did we exist before it is my question, because I feel like so many people are scared of it, but it's helped me get things done so much faster in terms of just like what would have taken me maybe an hour to write out. It does help so much, but AI is in a little bit of all these tools now. It's insane.
But then we have one more, and it's something that I brought to Sahara that I was like, we need this. And now I like hardly use it.
I know. I was like, let's use this. Let's set it up. And then I felt like you kind of stopped using it, but I don't think you realize how much I rely on it now and how much I use it. And that is Notion. She's my baby. Like to keep up with everything I have, like, oh my gosh, it's just amazing. Like I keep up with all my projects in it. I can collab with my team members on the projects. We can talk about the projects. We can set due dates for the projects. Like I truly use it as a project management system, and I don't know how to function without it in terms of projects. Like I've really dug into recently too, Michaela, like the automations within it. Oh my goodness. So cool. Like anytime, like just a week ago, a couple of my team members were having to like text me every time they assign me an accounting task. And then now we have automations where when they change one thing, it automatically emails me to get it done. And then when I get it done, it emails them.
Oh, wow. That is nice.
So it's just like for the collaborative projects, it's the best. I don't know of anything better. I think we were using it to try to like structure a lot more than what we truly need it to. I think once you figure out how you like Notion and what ways you want to use it and you stick to it, it's a game changer.
In the ways that I was using it, it was more for like content batch planning and content calendar and more of like a to-do list kind of agenda system. And I'm a paper girl. I like crossing things out. I like actually checking things off on my agenda. And so I needed my planner. I just needed the paper in front of me. And so that's why I personally just not stopped using Notion, because we still use Notion for a good amount of things. But for me personally, in keeping like a calendar and like my general to-do list, that's where I like to have everything is just in a paper planner. I'm very old school, I know, but it works for me.
It's your system. It's an old school system, but hey, that planner's still a system to help keep you organized.
Yeah, exactly. But Notion is a great tool. We do recommend it. Sahara absolutely loves it. I do think that, and Sahara and I have talked about this, but just kind of restructuring ours to make it work better for us with Refined and the goals that we have and how we are growing. So that's just a little learning curve that we didn't know before using Notion.
Yep. It's not expensive too. There's a lot of project management systems out there that are $100 a month. I don't know the exact cost of Notion for one user. I think it was less than $20 though. It's not too bad, and it can do a lot more than project management. ChatGPT is free.
Yep. Show it. It's free to a certain
how much that one cost?
ChatGPT is.
Yes, if you want to go to like, I don't know what they call it, but ChatGPT Pro, which I have because I like, I think it's like what, $14
Something
a month?
like that. Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I have it too.
And then Show It, how much is Show It?
The basic starter plan is like $24 a month if you're not buying a yearly, like an annual plan. But if you're just doing month to month.
Gotcha.
But if you use our code, you can get your first month free. So.
Ooh. Yeah, we will plug in this podcast like a link to all these systems. None of these systems paid us to say any of this. These are systems we've both used for years. Like, if you want to pay us, please, because we use you. But I think we do have like, we can set up under accounts like affiliate codes, so we will do that. It helps you guys out and us out. But we'll make sure to put that for all these systems. Most of these systems are free to an extent. To get more features, you then have to pay for some stuff. Like Zoom is free till you, but if you want to go over 30 minutes for a meeting, then you've got to pay something for a month. But most of these systems are under $20 a month. So they're not bad, and they're great systems, whether you're 1 year in business or you're 10 years in business.
Right, exactly. And like Sahara said, if you are trying to stick to a budget, there's definitely budget-friendly options within all of the systems that we talked about. You might just have to restructure some things to make sure that you stay within their, like the guide of their free plan. But besides that, definitely some budget-friendly options. If you're looking to really scale and up-level your workflows with automations for your CRM, definitely recommend Dubsado. We never mentioned this, but for our email marketing, we use Flowdesk. We are actually getting back into sending in March, sending a weekly newsletter. We started doing that last year on a monthly basis, and then it just kind of fell off because personally got too busy, prioritized other things and other client work, and that kind of fell off. So this year we're really focusing on building our email list. And so Flowdesk is what we use for that. And it's great because any new lead we get drops straight into Dubsado, our CRM. And so, yeah, definitely it's neat when all of your programs begin to talk to one another, because it eliminates so much of the extra.
It eliminates extra work when they all talk to each other.
Very much so. But if you enjoyed this episode and you really want to learn more about these systems or some of the programs that we've talked about, and you have questions, please feel free to reach out to us, DM us on Instagram at refinemarketing_ or at Rise and Refine Podcast. We'd love to talk to you about them. If you want any discount codes, if we have one, we will offer it to you to save you a little bit of extra money again. But outside of that, if you like this episode, please subscribe to us on YouTube. Leave us a review. We'd love to hear your thoughts, and we hope that you have a great rest of your week, and happy Monday.
See you next Monday.